Bob, 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 bob. Hey, everybody. It's Pedal Guy here. If you are joining us just now, hang tight. Just making a few adjustments here before we get started. And then we will go. We will go. All right. Well, we have something working here. All right. Hey there, if you're just joining us, welcome to the channel. Just wait for a couple minutes here. I'm just getting everything set up and then we're going to go into it. Yo. Mike, how you doing? How's it going? We will get there, I promise. Oops. All right. Hang on, everybody. Just getting everything set up so we can get to it and get after it. All right. Here we go. Okay. I see there's a few people joining us on Facebook. How you doing, guys? Welcome. And hey, everything is working. How about that? All the streams are working. It's wonderful. Okay, fantastic. Wow. Okay. Good. I'm so very happy. So bear with me just for one more minute here. I am just making some adjustments so that we can get to it here. So, uno momento, por favor. All right. Okay. Chat. And there. And boom. All right. Okay. All right. How are we all doing today? Everybody doing good? Give me a shout out. Let me know who's here. Say something. And let me know you're here. Say something, and I hope you're ready to check out some cool stuff today because we're going to go through this little rig here in a few minutes. I'll show you what's going on here and show you how to use the HeadRush Pedalboard with the Digitech SDRUM, which is a question I get asked a lot, as one can imagine. And we'll take it from there. Okay, so it looks like everything's working, so let's go ahead and kick into it, yeah? So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if everything's working okay on your side. I can see everything from my side here. So hopefully we are good to go. Yo, hello from Canada. How's it going? Welcome. I am glad you're here with us today. All up here good in Washington. That's great to hear, Mike. I'm so glad to hear that. You know, if any of my viewers are from Texas or any of the other states that are having all kinds of fun right now, I hope you're doing well and that you're staying safe and all that wonderful stuff. So welcome to the Pedal Guy channel. Nigel, how you doing? Welcome to the Pedal Guy channel. If this is your first visit to the channel, this is pedal knowledge, pedal demos, pedal sales. I love pedals and so do you. Hello from Western Canada. Wow, we're getting a lot of people from the Great White North today. Thank you very, very much for joining me today. My name is Scott. This is my business, this is my dealership, The Pedal Guy, where I do I sell pedals and all that fun stuff. Hello from the Netherlands. How's it going? What I do here now is a weekly demo, a weekly live stream where I try to answer questions, tell you about what's going on at the Pedal Guy, and we do a demo every week. And this week it's going to be the HeadRush Pedalboard and the Digitech SDRUM, which is a question that I'm asked often. And as you can see on that side there is a live chat where you can ask any questions, and I will try to answer them as quickly as possible and to the best of my ability. And then also, as you can see down below, is please support the channel if you're on YouTube by subscribing to it. If you're on Facebook, please consider following. And of course, if you are on YouTube and you feel like being a little charitable, a super chat now and then would not hurt. It helps the channel grow. It helps make all of this worthwhile because I know a lot of people get a lot of information from my channel for all of your pedal needs, and I know that you're in another country somewhere, so the potential of us doing business together is slim, but so the best way to show support is use that super chat. It really does help. Every little bit does help. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking about that today at this point, and let's take a look here. We got people. I am so glad to see people hanging with us here. These live streams have been doing really, really well. We've had a lot of people joining us and coming in with some very colorful discussions and conversations and all that. And I so very much appreciate it. If you guys would just indulge me for a quick second here, I'm just going to share the stream if I can to a couple of other channels. That may not be possible, but we will see what we can do here. Bear with me. The thing about doing multi-streaming is that we're going from multiple platforms, so it does take a minute or two to get everything working exactly the way I want to, because I want to get into talking about pedals and all that fun stuff and tell you what's going on here, because there is a lot going on. Let's see, share to a group. Let's share to, sorry, this takes a couple of minutes and I promise we'll get onto it. Let's see, MG-300. Okay. What I'm doing right now, just so you know, is I am streaming out to, I'm sharing this out to a couple of the other Facebook groups that follow the pedal guy, just so you know what's going on. This is called Marketing 101, kids. We have to do this stuff. And then I am all on it as far as what we're going to talk about today. Okay. All right. Okay. If somebody had a one-button solution for all of this, if you happen to know one, let me know about it. Actually, I would find that very interesting indeed and very useful. Okay, good. I think we're all here. Okay, Mike just purchased the HeadRush. Oh, that's right. Yeah, hi. How you doing, man? Thank you. I'm glad you're joining us today, and welcome to the fun. So yeah, any case, yeah, the HeadRush had a great week this week, didn't they? They had a brand new firmware. I released a video earlier this week. What's up, Raider? How you doing, buddy? I had a really good week this week for videos. I released the HeadRush firmware update video on Tuesday, which is still continuing to grow, and it's ranking first in YouTube, so that's pretty awesome. And yesterday I released a video that discusses the points between the NUX MG-30 and the NUX MG-300, and got some shit for that one, but that was what it's going to be what it is. I actually wrote down an actual outline today, so I don't come across so schizo this time. So scatterbrained, I should say. Sorry, schizo is not a very nice word to use, but scatterbrained is okay. We can say that. It's one of my favorite Jeff Beck tunes. Hopefully you guys are Jeff Beck fans too. I always tell all of the people that I ever encounter, if you're going to go see somebody that will change your life live, go see Jeff Beck. That's some true words there. Let's talk about. So I'm going to talk about business, just a little business stuff that's going on here, so that you know what's happening and that you're up to speed on everything. If you didn't join us last week on The Gear You Hear, which is another Facebook page that I run with my friend Amico, we had Al Joseph on, who is an amazing progressive metal guitar player, and really had a great interview with him. He showed us all about, he talked about his usage of HeadRush and all that fun stuff. And I'm really excited to tell you that next Wednesday at noon Pacific, we're going to have Rosaway on. Now, they are a French duo, and what's really unique about them is Rachel, who's the lead of the group there. She's a flautist, she's a singer, she's a looper, and it's really cool to watch her do her videos. So I think you're going to really enjoy listening to how they come up with their creative process, because there's some amazing stuff going on there. I'll leave it at that. But join us next Wednesday afternoon at noon Pacific at The Gear You Hear. You can also watch it here on YouTube as well. It does stream on this channel as well. So we got you covered there. Now let's see, new videos. Yes, so there are some new videos on the way for sure. Due to all of the attention that's being paid to the new Headrush firmware, and also to the NUX MG-30, because I know a lot of people want to hear more demos of that and want to know more about it. So I'm going to certainly shoot some more content for both of those shortly. I also am really jazzed to say I have a jam sync to MIDI cable on the way from Delay Dude out in Germany. He makes these cables so that you can use the jam sync output of your Strum to the MIDI input of various devices. So I'm going to experiment with it a bit and see what I can do with the Headrush, and maybe the Ampero, and maybe some of the other guys out there as well that have MIDI inputs on them as well. Mainly because I want to see what can be done. It's really fun to work with MIDI, and I know it really messes with people when they see some of those videos and they go, why would I ever want to do that? And then they watch the whole video and it's like, oh, really? It does that? That's so awesome. Okay, so enough about that one. Let's see what's going on. So the Headrush new firmware, obviously that's now old news. But Headrush did release a new firmware this past week, and there will be, and it's a free download, by the way, and there will be more than one update this year, from what I understand. There will be, I think, one every quarter, possibly, but I don't know. Don't hold me to it. But I know that there's a lot of demand for more Headrush, and believe you me, there's more Headrush on the way. So there will be that. And as far as like new videos go, as promised in last week's video, or this week's video about the Headrush firmware, I do need to do an updated video about the looper in the Headrush, because it has changed dramatically since my first video, which was now, what, 4 years ago? Almost 4 years ago now since I shot that video. So it's time to update that information. So let's see what's going on out here. Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Yeah, we got people watching all over the place. Fantastic. All right, great. Okay, what else is going on? A lot of people have been asking about the NUX MG-30 release date. So guys, look, I'm not going to bullshit you if you're waiting for it. I am in direct contact with NUX China a lot, because obviously I have a really good relationship with them, and I can tell you for a fact it will not be here until the end of April at the very earliest. So that is why I've been a little reluctant to put a pre-order page on the site, because I don't want a bunch of people getting angry at me, even though I will tell them until I'm blue in the face that it won't show up until the end of next month. At best, they're going to fly them in as soon as they're done. So it's going to be, I want it to be here in time. And I've ordered a great deal. I've pre-ordered a great number of the units that are being flown in. So we will be the first to have them. So if you're interested in getting one, now would be a good time to start thinking about that. $299, it's pretty hard to pass up. Let's see, Tascam recorders. Tascam and we started working together earlier this year. Really love Tascam. If there are any Tascam fans out there, give us a shout. I have one of the recorders actually right here, which is the DRO5X. This thing is fantastic. The microphones on this thing are great. And in fact, it works as an audio interface. So I can actually use this as an actual audio interface for any application I'm using, like Reaper, Pro Tools, whatever. So, that's pretty awesome, I got to tell you. What else is going on? But we do have now the DP006. And there's also a $20 instant rebate going on with that right now. So you can actually buy it for like $149. Broken Chains can use the external two switches on the MG30 to make the unit into a 4 preset, like 1 through 4 presets. I believe you can, but don't hold me to it yet. I'm still really exploring this, and I want to get to it. And I think next week you can count on seeing a video. You can count on seeing more content about the MG30, where I will try to cover a lot of those questions. But understand that it's going to be a series. It's going to go on for a while, because if you've watched any of my videos about the MG300, well, I use it in pretty unorthodox ways. And it has made people think a little bit differently about how they use it. But thank you for the question. And I will talk more about it later if you want. But in any case, Tascam DP006 is now in stock. Eventually, I'll get around to doing a video about it, and we'll talk about it. But why would you want to have one of those when you have a computer? Well, are you carrying your computer everywhere with you? Probably not. Even if you do, you got to hook up a bunch of extra stuff. So having a handheld recorder, having a little desktop recorder like the DP006, and I mean it's like this big, is pretty cool, because then you have portable recording that you can start recording at a moment's notice without any hoopla to go along with it. And it's got stereo microphones right there in the front. So it's kind of nice to have that. On the same topic of recorders, I'm looking at Zoom. I know that's a brand that everybody knows, everybody loves, I think. I'm not sure, but I know it's an extremely popular brand, and I'm not really looking so much at just Zoom for the recorders, but I'm looking at it for the purpose of their processors and their pedals, because they do make some good pedals. They do make some good multi-effects. They make a really good acoustic pedal, I believe. And they have a vocal processor that's pretty cool. Basically, I need something that's going to replace Behringer, because Behringer is no longer with us. Hey, there you go. I still use the H2. Yep, I have one of those lying around somewhere as well. And the fact of the matter is that Zoom, it does actually make some pretty cool stuff. Their vocal processors are actually really cool. When it comes to vocal processors, there aren't that many to choose from. And there are people that ask about it now, especially since I did the Trio Tuesday videos a while back, where I was doing the singing and everything. And all of that was coming from a Boss vocal processor. And we don't carry Boss right now. And I don't know if we ever honestly will. That's more up to Boss than it is up to me. So maybe if they get their head out of their ass, maybe we might get around to doing some business together. But again, that's probably more than you needed to know. What else? Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much about it as far as like business stuff goes. Just know that I am watching and trying to respond to everybody's questions on the videos. This is the third video in 28 days because that's how YouTube measures their metrics. That's done over 1,000 in the last over 1,000 views in the first couple of days. The one I did yesterday was crazy, and all that was just talking about the differences between the two pedals. And if you stick with me to the end of the stream today, I'm going to talk a little bit about etiquette at the end, because I think we need to have a little refresher course on that, so that you guys understand what the purpose of my channel is, what the purpose of the pedal guy is. And I know that there's a lot of people here that follow me, that are avid followers of the Pedal Guy and love what I'm doing here, and I so very much appreciate it. I'm looking at two right now. I'm looking at you, Raider. You're the man, dude. And I know Cool Music Tech. I haven't seen him show up yet, but I'm sure he's out there somewhere because it's a little late out there in the UK. But the reality is that I'm a dealer, and I buy and sell pedals and pedal accessories and other things that go outside that genre a little bit. And there I would love for people to you know I would love for people to buy from us, but if you don't, I understand why. But don't brag about where you bought it somewhere else because that really sucks. It's kind of a big middle finger. But in any case, there is that. But I'll talk about that soon. Okay, so I got a yo, what's up? Let's see, Cesar Ramos. I don't know if you've already have video related to the problem with the USB not recognized or not. I've heard about that problem a little bit. I honestly, Caesar, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to respond to that or give you advice on that one per se. But if you do send an email to me at info@thepedalguide.com, I'll see if I can get you some help from the HeadRush team. You can also go to the HeadRush Facebook groups. There's a lot of good information and a lot of people that are very helpful there. And I think you'd get something out of that. So if you do have an opportunity to go look there, go check it out. Okay. So in any case, I'm gonna let's see. Let's take a look here at what we got. So, mad support from Florida. How's it going, Florida? Good to see y'all. Let's see. The yo is from Robert Jackson, who is my man. What's up, Robert? Good to see you. I was just on his channel a few minutes ago and talking it up. And unfortunately, the chat or caster is what I use. And they made some, I don't know, the software for a chat window is a little archaic in the way it works. So sometimes I can't see exactly who's writing me from Facebook. And for some reason, I have to have Twitch connected to it as well. So it's a full-on PETA for me. But what are you gonna do? Okay, David. Hey there, loving your channel and just got on board with your MG-300 videos. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate it. How would you rate the wah? Yeah, it's not a bad wah. It's pretty decent. But and you can hear my doggy there in the background. But it's not the end all be all. There's also a wah in the new MG-30, and that's coming along nicely. But I think the wah is decent for sure. But the cool thing about using the pedal, the expression pedal on the MG-300, is you can assign it to other things as well. And I used it. Well, you have to watch the video. I did a video already on it, but I also use it for vocals. If you can believe it, you can use the MG-300 for vocals, and it actually sounds halfway decent. So that's one of the neat little secrets about working with that. What can you tell me about the Roland synths? It's a question from Ronald. Ronald, I'm not quite sure what the question is there because we're not a Roland dealer. I obviously have Roland. You can see a V-drum kit there in the background. And my first synthesizer was a Roland synthesizer. My first pedal was a Boss pedal, and it's sitting actually right there on the wall. But we are currently not a Roland or Boss dealer, which is kind of sad because they're actually just about 20 minutes away from here. But again, that's more on them than it is on me. But David, cheers back to you, my friend. If by the way, again, if you are watching this chat, if you're watching this live stream and you're a fan of the channel on YouTube, it'd be great if you did a super chat. And I'll eventually what we'll do is for fun I'll start playing weird weird songs or something for people. But there you have it. So sorry if my dog's making a lot of noise, but I think there's a delivery that just came in. NUX pedals that we we run into all the time. Pedals shipments that I have to get all the time. Recommendations for a good compressor. Well, Ronald, that's a good question. So there are a lot of good compressors out there. If you're on the NUX side of things, there's a Masamune, and that's a bigger, a rather loud compressor. That's a big, sort of a bigger footprint of a compressor. There's the Sculpture. That's a good little mini pedal that they've got. Actually, you know what? If you can find them, I don't think I've got any more of them, but Hofner made a really good little compressor that I like quite a bit. And there's one that I don't have in stock anymore, but I think is one of the best ones out there. Is probably the Walrus Audio Deep 6. That is a nice compressor, because it's really nice and punchy. I like that one quite a bit. Maybe that would be one that you'll dig on. But anyway, who wants to see some demos? Guys want to see some demos? Hopefully we can do that and enlighten you guys a little bit on some cool stuff. So I'm going to switch cameras here and move to my top down. So today, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about using the Digitech SDRUM with the HeadRush Pedalboard. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment. And by the way, even though you cannot see the comments as they're coming in on the screen as we were doing before, they are actually on my screen here. I've now been able to get with it and stop looking above on my TV screen and actually put it down here on the screen so I can actually see when you're asking questions. So don't stop the questions. If you got them, shout them out, people. Shout them out. It's the only way we can keep these things going. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I did a video, and I also did a live stream on how to use the HeadRush Pedalboard with a Trio Plus, and it was pretty well received. Maybe the keywords weren't as strong as they should have been, or something along those lines. But more people will find that as they come along. But it is something that people want to do a lot, and I get a lot of questions about how to use the Strum along with the pedal board here, because and let me know if you can hear that. By the way, I'm just playing the sounds on the Strum. I get a lot of questions about this because yes, the HeadRush Pedalboard has got a looper built in, and you can bring up a backing track if you want, and you can have fun with it that way. However, what's cool about the Strum is that it's got it is a beat creation tool. Okay, so I did another video that compared the Strum with a Beat Buddy, and when I did that, what I was trying to explain was that the Beat Buddy, great pedal by the way, is a beat playback tool. It has beats already built in. You can make your own for it, but you have to know something about MIDI, and you have to have a sequencer where you can create MIDI files and throw them in there. However, the Strum is a beat creation tool. You have a kick, you have a snare. You can use your guitar to trigger the kick and snare by using the low E and the high E string, respectively. Sorry. And once you do that, and you put in a pattern. Oh, great! Thank you for letting me know that the audio is coming through there. The one thing is, after you play a pattern on the kick and the snare, and it's learned it, then you hit the foot switch, and Strum will build an entire rhythm section around that. So you'll have a full drum kit, and then you can change the intensity of that. You can change the style with the hat and the ride. You can change the intensity. You can also go to Alt. You have several different drum kits to choose from here. And essentially, you can create a verse, a chorus, and a bridge. Now, this is an extremely popular series on my channel. If you have watched it, if not, you might want to go back and check it out because it's a pretty cool pedal. In addition to that, you have the inputs on the side here, and I'm going to talk about how I've connected that to how I'm putting all the connections together here. But you have the guitar input, You have the foot switch input for the F3X, FS3X. You have an amp output here on the top. There we go. And that goes to your guitar amp. And you can use this one output by itself. You don't have to use all three outputs at once. You can use this one output, and that can output the drums and the guitar as it passes through out to the David, thanks for sounding off there. That can go out to the amp, and you can get like a full mix going there if you want to. And you also have a mixer left-right output here as well, right below the guitar amp. I'm sorry, there we go. And that's and that is used to send either a stereo pair of the drums off to another source, or if you're not using the amp output, you can put, again, the guitar and the drums in a stereo fashion out to a mixing board, and life goes on. Additionally, on the back, and I don't want to lift it because we'll lose the power here, there's a jam sync output on the back, and I do have a jam sync to MIDI cable on the way. I could make one, I just honestly don't have the time to do it. But I do have a cable on the way that's going to allow me to sync up the tempo. Allegedly, I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. But sync up the tempo via MIDI clock to effects that are tempo based out of the HeadRush. Really looking forward to that because that could be some cool stuff. I so wish that the Trio Plus had jam sync. My life would be so much better if it had it on there. But it is the way it is. Okay. And then over here we've got the HeadRush pedalboard, and let's talk about how we have got it set up here. And then I'll go ahead and plug in and show you what this is all about. Okay. So let's move the strum over a little bit here. Now, I'm not using, obviously, the external foot switch because I don't need it here for this demo. But I'm going from my guitar, I'm going straight from my guitar right into the guitar input. Why am I doing that? The reason I'm doing that is so that I have a clean audio signal that goes from the guitar to the strum, so that when I'm teaching the strum a pattern, it has a clear, clean tone. Now, I could get really complicated and set up an effect send here if I really wanted to. However, why? There's absolutely no reason to do that. So don't worry about that at all. Just know that that is just an unnecessary connection. Unless you really want to have it, it's like when you get 50 cents change and you insist on getting 2 dimes and a nickel instead of a quarter. Okay, just get the quarter. It's much easier, isn't it? Any case, 6, or the other way you would say that would be 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. Okay. Anyway, to the upper left here, we have the amp output. Now the amp output is going over to, moving on over, it's going to the guitar input of the HeadRush. Okay, so I'm going of the amp out to the guitar input of the HeadRush. And then from there, from the HeadRush, I'm using the XLR outputs on the back, and that's going to my mixing board as well. So I'm getting a stereo feed. Let's see, let's move. There we go. I'm getting a stereo feed from the strum, and I'm getting a stereo feed from the HeadRush. So it's all in stereo. The beautiful thing about this setup is that I have the drums now in a stereo field. I have the HeadRush in a stereo field, and I can make something that just sounds really, really good. Especially if I'm playing live or if I'm trying to record something. The Strum is a great little pedal. I've sold a ton of these things because they just sound really good. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and grab the guitar and let's do this. So the guitar I'm using today is my newly acquired, well, not totally newly acquired. I acquired it last summer, but this is a Yamaha SE150. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, these were made in the 80s. It was like Yamaha's budget guitar, and the SE150, in fact, was my very first guitar. All the way back there in the 80s when I was 12 years old and learning how to play guitar. I had a charcoal gray SE150. Have a look at this thing. So there you go. All right, isn't that beautiful? This is a custom paint job from a eBay seller that I bought it off of in Texas. And I just needed to make a few adjustments to make it playable for me. What he also did, by the way, here, just go back up to the camera here. What he also did is he outfitted it with a Floyd Rose tremolo. Now, you've seen the pink guitar, I'm assuming. I've played that. That's the SE150's big brother, the SE250 from Yamaha. And that has a Kahler. And I know that Kahler versus Floyd Rose, it's like less tastes great, less filling. If you remember that slogan, it's kind of a funny thing. But in any case, this guitar has been so much fun to play since I got it. It's all about nostalgia, and I've just been so jazzed to have it back in my arsenal. I will be getting a let's see what's going on here on the channel. Make sure people are watching. Are you watching? Are you asking questions or anything? I'm just wondering if the chat's working there or not. So bear with me. But I am going to be getting Washburn guitars in before too long, so that should be a good thing to have here. Okay, so let's get the headphones on here. We don't hear anything yet. That's because I haven't turned up the HeadRush. By the way, I don't know if you've heard this preset before, but Crazy Ted, but I just love this one. And it's well, another one of those artists, if you do get to see them ever before they kick the bucket, Ted Nugent might be one of those. I saw Ted Nugent back in 1990 when he was with the Damn Yankees, which was a super group there in the 90s, and they were co-headlining with Bad Company. It was Brian Howe's version of Bad Company, but it was a hell of a show. So any Brian Howe Bad Company fans out there, represent. Anyway, okay, on to the show here. So we have the HeadRush plugged in, and you can hear the way I've set it up, there's nothing wrong. And we have the drum, we have Strum over here as well. So probably want to turn that down just a tad. Hey, Mike saw that same show. Hey, hey. Ha-ha. See, we were destined to have a good relationship. So great. One thing though, did you also have your ears squealing like crazy after that show? Because that was the show that taught me to wear earplugs whenever I go to concerts, because I couldn't hear right for about a week after that show because Ted is so freaking loud. And I also didn't know that he's completely deaf in one ear and almost completely deaf in the other. So hopefully you didn't experience the same problem I did. Okay, so here's a quick primer on how the Strum works. Okay, so we have the first thing we need to do is calibrate. Now I'm not going to calibrate it today, but you hold down this button here, the Guitar Audition. You hold it down to calibrate it, where you use the low E and the high E to calibrate the kick and the snare, and that is all she wrote. And once you're done, you're done. But press it again, and you can see the LED has now gotten a bit brighter there. And now you don't hear the HeadRush anymore. Okay, but you can hear the kick, the snare, and you can also, of course, hear me picking away here on the microphone. But so this is where you can play some drum solos if you want to. You also have to be a little careful about how you play. So you can play some really intricate stuff, you know. And what I have found what I have found when I'm triggering it, little tip here for you. What I have found is using a heavy pick. This is a gravity pick. This thing has been awesome for really getting very intricate with how I can get very, very close and upfront with that with the triggers there. So now that the reason you're hearing the kick is because something is making noise, whether it's the pickups or not. This is a really hot pickup on this guitar. But having that heavy pickup, the heavy pick makes a big difference. Okay, so if we want to create a beat here, I'm going to go ahead and erase. So we just press and hold the central foot switch to erase what's already on a song. And as I mentioned before, you got verse, chorus, bridge. And again, you can watch the videos if you want to know how that all works. And you've also got up here in the upper left corner, you've got the tempo, where you can press and hold. It gives you a metronome, and you don't have to use that metronome if you don't want to. You can make the beat up as you go, or you can press and hold it again to get the metronome going. And then what you can do is you can tap tempo. You can tap tempo what you want. Sorry, pardon me 1 second. You can tap tempo what you'd like. And then what you can do is then press and hold, not press and hold, but press and release the main foot switch. And you're now going to see the Learn LED is rapidly lit up there. And that means it's waiting for a beat. So there's two ways to do it, okay? One way is you could just use your fingers and trigger the kick and snare if you want to. Two. Okay. Here we go. Right? Okay, so that's pretty simple. Now if you want to stop, just press and hold, and that'll stop the song. Press and hold again, and that'll erase it. You can get back to square one. And what we can do is we can also just do it right here from the guitar. Okay, so here we go. 3, 4. Boom. If we want to change the hat, we can do that. The hat intensity. You can press the encoders there, and we can actually change the intensity. If you want to change the tempo, you've also got a tempo knob there. You also have an alt button, which will give you the rides instead of the hat. But I'm going to stick with, or the toms. The strum with the looper board could be interesting too. Ah, you read my mind there, buddy. You read my mind. Didn't think I was going there, did ya? I am. Okay, and then if you want to change the actual kit, just use the left knob and select the kit you want. So we could go to power if you wanted to. I'm not going to go with that one though. We can also use the alt. Okay. I don't like that one. Well, actually, I like that one. That's pretty good. And if I really wanted to mess it up, I go to, like, you know, E-pop. But I'm just going to stick with power. Now we can also we can also go into a 4/4 or a 3/4 groove if we want to. We can put swing if we want to. I know a lot of that's a little hard to see here on this camera setup I've got here. So what you can do is you can just simply go to the video series that's on my YouTube channel. You can watch all of it there. Okay, but now that it's been recorded, or it's been, you can also change it. So we could go to busy. so we can do that. If we want to go to the next part, we can just simply press and release. Now you can see it's already got something kind of pre-selected that is absolutely cool. Music Tech, how are you? Which is absolutely the wrong thing to do there. Don't like that either. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop that. But in any case, that's how you use it, okay? So I know this, I probably expanded out a lot more on that than I needed to. Now let's go ahead and disconnect here for a sec. Let's see, what went on first, what came off first. What goes off first, goes on last, comes off first. That's what I was trying to say there. Okay, let's go back here. So anyway, I know that was kind of an elongated sort of demo about something that's a rather short topic, but I get these questions a lot, and I figured this would be a good forum to talk about that, because using the Strum with the HeadRush Pedalboard is a great tool, but what I've shown you will apply to everything else. So if you're using it with the Ampero, if you're using it with the NUX products, if you're using it with the More products, if you're using it with any of the other iterations of the HeadRush products, it'll all work. And to that one question about using it with the looper board, the HeadRush looper board, way ahead of you on that one, buddy. And I'm going to try that as soon as my Jam Sync MIDI cable shows up. So that should be in a couple of weeks. And if I can get all that to work the way I want to, I'm absolutely going to do it. What I can tell you though right now is if you do have a HeadRush pedal board, you can in fact use it, and let me turn that down. You can in fact use that with the HeadRush looper board in MIDI sync. Again, why would you do that? Well, if you have your loop going on with the looper board, like several loops going on at once, and it's at a specific tempo, and you want to record something from the HeadRush pedal board into it, having the two tempos in sync is going to make those tempo-based effects sound that much better. That way you're not goofing around with it and trying to figure out the milliseconds. So it's a very useful feature. And I even have a strike pad back there, and at least a strike pad that I'm looking forward to digging into a bit, so that we can have some fun with that. But that's basically how you do it. So what I've shown you is applicable to several different types of pedal boards, not just the HeadRush pedal board, but you can use that with everything. And I hope that makes a little sense to you. You know, if you don't understand, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do to try to help you out there a little bit more. But that's how you use them together. So if you thought this was a cool idea, let me know. Maybe we'll do another video about it. Or probably next week we're going to be talking a lot more about the MG-30, because I know that is the question that's burning a hole in everyone's mind right now. When is the MG-30 coming? When can I get it? What does it do this? Does it do that? Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting that all friggin' day. And it's good to be on top. What can I say? Let's just check out the dashboards here really quick, and then we'll get on to the next topic. Right. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. We got people watching all over the place here. Goody. Thank you very much for joining. If you got more questions, shout them out while I'm talking here. Okay, so let's see. What time is it now? Okay, it's 12:51. So I do have to call it a day sooner than later, just because I got some other things that are going on today. But I do want to kind of I want to talk about something for a couple of minutes here. So I hope you'll indulge me. And I want to preface this by saying I'm not trying to shame anybody or call anybody out, unless specifically I mean to. So I will be kind about it. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, the Pedal Guy is a dealership. I'm a dealer. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I put a lot of effort into my YouTubing. I put a lot of effort into my Facebooking, and I'm currently in process of putting a lot more effort into my Instagramming, because my Instagram game is weak, and I need to get that dialed in. It's really funny in my research. People who do YouTube full time most likely have a pretty crappy Facebook page or Instagram page. Like, they have a couple of people that follow them, but they don't honestly make an effort. Whereas dealers, we try to make an effort across the board for everybody. Yeah, my friend Robert's Guitar Dungeon there, he's a good example of a guy who gets it, because he's got a good following on Facebook, because he's always on there, and he's got a good YouTube channel as well. So there are people that do break the norm from that. But the purpose of the Pedal Guy is so that I can sell products and keep doing what I'm doing here. Because if I don't, well, then I'm not going to be able to keep the store open, you know? So I just sometimes have to remind everybody that I'm a dealer, not a full-time YouTuber. I do put videos out every week because, hey, it's COVID, man. I'm staying here, and I'm growing the channel, but I'm also trying to encourage people to buy products from my store or to watch the videos, because that's another stream of revenue for my company, so that I can realize more from the ad revenue. Good example, very quickly, very good example is the Trio Plus. Fun-filled fact: since I monetized the channel, I have actually made more ad revenue from those Trio videos than I've ever made selling the Trio. And it sounds kind of sad, you know, but at the same time, there's a reason for that, because the Trio is such an oversaturated product. And they also had a lot of marketplace problems for a while. And Digitech is what Digitech is right now. Maybe somebody will buy them one day. I know somebody suggested I should, but I don't have a few $1 million in my back pocket. But I continue to do those videos because they get the clicks, because I get more people coming to the channel and learning more about what I do, and eventually it does turn into something, whether they buy something from me, whether they whether they buy something from me, whether they hire me to help them with stuff. I know I've received several offers on that. Haven't been able to really take anybody up on that, but still, the ad revenue from the YouTube stream is really what helps me continue to do content about the Trio Plus. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a dealership, not a traditional reviewer's YouTube channel. And that's the other word that I shy away from a lot, is reviews, because I don't do reviews. My videos on the products, I like to think of more as showcases. Now, I know sometimes the video titles have review in the title. That's because of keyword research that enables me to grab the widest audience possible. But I try to be as objective as possible through my videos and not pull the wool over your eyes. There's a lot of questions right now about the ethics of some of the other channels out there and paid promotions and all that stuff. And I'm going to tell you something straight up, man. I'm going to tell you something straight up. I buy every one of the products you see on this channel. Every one of them. I do not take free product from anybody, in the exception of a couple of vendors that I then end up buying a lot of extra stuff from. However, this is my one pledge to you, which is even if I got it for free, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't bother doing a video about it because it's not worth the trouble. Okay? If I bring in a crap product, here's what happens. It becomes a boomerang. I send it out to somebody, they don't like it, they send it back to me, and it doesn't really work for anybody. Okay? I get behind the products that I sell, behind the products that I pitch. So I'm not trying to be too preachy here. I'm just trying to tell you guys what I do here so that you clearly understand what this channel is about. And I wanted to just kind of address it because there has been a lot of videos out there that have been calling bullshit on a lot of these guys that do stuff like that. And I know a lot of the guys out there that do these demo videos. Pete Thorne, for example, very cool guy. I had a really nice discussion with him at an AMP show a couple years back, and really great guy, right? Sean, another guy, Sean, he has a channel that I think is really good too. His last name is escaping me at the moment. Know Your Gear, Brian McKnight, he's a good guy. Very flaky, doesn't want to get back to people, but that's because he's got hundreds of thousands of people following him. And I even, really watch Spectre Sound Studios quite a bit because I think Glenn's a pretty cool guy. Glenn buys everything that he gets. But again, those are guys that are reviewers. They're full-time YouTubers. I am not a full-time YouTuber. I am a dealer. So my purpose is to show the products, talk about the products, and hopefully sell you the products. If not, at least I'll get some ad revenue out of it. So there you have it. That's the reality of it. So when you watch stuff here, I'm trying to share information with you. And even if you're in another country, I hope you get this information and you do something with it. Okay? If you want to help, throw us a super chat if you're on YouTube. That helps a lot. All of that helps a lot. And I know I keep saying that, but that's because I'd like to see if that ever happens. I know this is kind of a different forum here, but still, I think it's important to talk about those topics because I think you really need to be a little careful about where you're getting your information, because I have had to correct some seriously twisted perceptions on things and perspectives on things when I see stuff. And it bothers me a lot that they got this information from somebody else that obviously didn't know his head from his ass about what he was talking about. And that bothers me a lot. Being in this industry for nearly 30 years now, I can tell you that there are people that will try to pull the wool over your eyes. And when you see the word salesperson, everybody always gets all ooh, scummy. And here's the thing, guys. Everybody sells. So just get used to it because you're here. You're playing guitar, you're selling yourself. So just think about it along those lines. But I try to sell with ethics. There's a lot of dealers here in the United States that are not ethical. I won't mention them, but you probably know who they are if you do your research. And I'm not talking about Guitar Center guys. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about, Sweetwater. Absolutely not. I mean, those guys are as straight as an arrow. As far as their ethics go. And actually, I quite admire what Chuck's done there. I've been to the campus several times, and they're really, really nice guys. Sometimes they don't have a lot of personality, but I think it's just because of the environment that they're in. That could be, just my point. But whatever. That's my opinion, so don't take that as an insult if you happen to be a Sweetwater fan. If you are, good for you. But in any case, I think there's a lot of people that do give bad advice out there. So anything that I've talked about here, I try to give you the most accurate advice possible, and I try to be objective and not try to push you at one over the other. If I'm doing a pedal versus pedal, I'm simply there to try to tell you exactly what the difference is between them. So with that being said, I just want to show you a couple of the chuckleheads that have written this week because I think you might get a couple laughs out of this, and just to talk about. Manners, okay? Just be nice, okay? So let me just show you a couple here because maybe you'll get a good laugh out of this one. So I got this one yesterday from a guy named St. Augustine who commented about my Stageman video and my Stageman floor video, and he said that could be the worst loop song I've ever heard, especially for a video promo. Well, St. Augustine, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I would just say I challenge you to do better. I went to your channel. I watched some of your content, if you want to call it that. And all I can say is you might need a little work yourself there, my friend. And I think Bob Dylan called and he wants his harmonica back. So just, let's be nice, and I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me. Okay. Now this is one, and of course, look, I don't get offended by people like that. I mean, that just goes right over my head. I couldn't give a rat's ass about that kind of comment, because I find it more laughable than anything. Because I do go and look at what they've done, and I do want to see what they've done, and if they are like, should I take this seriously? Should I not take this seriously? Blah 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 blah. Whatever. But there you have it. Okay. So if you're watching my channel, St. Augustine, maybe you should find another channel to go watch. But thanks. Now this is one that really bothers me when people do this. So Rockstar 6900, this guy is a musician. He does have a channel. I don't know how many videos he's got on it, but he has this one video where he's using the Trio Plus. And he put a comment on this video where he put a link to it without any context behind it. What does this link do? Where does it go? Is it going to a Babe's website? Is it going to a drugs website? Is it going to something that is wrong? Listen, if you're doing this on YouTube, if you're doing this, stop now, okay? You know why you need to stop now? Because it sucks. Because what happens is the channel that you're doing that to could get a strike against them because you're putting links up there. Now it is a YouTube link, so okay, that's fine. But still, what's that link go to, right? Put some context behind it. If you want to do that, Rockstar 6900, you might consider at least saying, hey, this is a video I did on this product, and here's a link to it. I know Cool Music Tech has talked about a lot of his videos on my channel, but he does it in a classy way, and I really do appreciate and respect the way he does it. So take his example, okay? And I blocked this bozo, by the way, so hopefully we won't see him anymore on my channel. But that's the kind of stuff that really makes my skin crawl. And it's not because I don't love you guys, but look, if you're gonna try to get my channels banned or turned off or something because you put a link up there without anything behind it, I'm not gonna be so happy about that. Okay, unboxing. So if you've noticed, I haven't done any unboxing videos in a really long time. And this is probably one of the reasons why, where Alan Sturgis wrote, so useful to see videos of a box being opened. I often wondered how to do that. And I'm doing that with kind of a British accent because he's a Brit. And I went to his channel. He's got all of like 11 followers, and he's got 3 videos where he recites poetry for about 20 seconds. And Alan, you did absolutely nothing by commenting on that. I mean, you're the one who watched the video. I don't know how else to make it more obvious to you. It says unboxing on the thumbnail. The video description says unboxing. The title says unboxing. What made you think there was a demo? If I'm going to do a demo, then I would do the Stageman one is an unboxing and a demo. So, he and I decided to get in a little bit of a back and forth, and inevitably I just went ahead and blocked him because he really serves no purpose to the channel here. And let's see, and on that same topic, so here's another one I got, and this is in answer to a video that I did yesterday, that came out yesterday, which was the pedal versus pedal video of the MG-300 versus the MG-30. Sorry, man, I just lost 6 minutes of my life just watching the video without any value added. Well, first of all, this guy is not even in our country, okay, so respectfully, I understand your point. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I have a life. You have a life. You can read it there. You can go to the channel if you want to read it. Respectfully, I understand your opinion, and I do say that first of all, thanks for the opinion. I appreciate it, but at the same time, again, not a full-time YouTuber, so you completely missed the point of that video. The video was to tell you the differences between the two because I get questions about it all the time. And so you have to do this. You have to talk about what's different between this product and this product. If you don't do that, then you're flying blind, man. And then what happens is, you buy the product thinking it's going to be something, which it's not. And then guess what? I get a mail back saying I want to send this back. That doesn't help me at all, man. So, I lost a few minutes off of my life going after, reading this through a little bit and then looking at your videos and watching you. And you're actually quite talented. Your band sounds really good. You play really hard, man. So I can tell you right off the bat, I don't even need to waste your time. Just buy the 30. Buy the MG-30 because plastic shell is not going to work for your style of music, my friend. You'll blow that MG-300 right out of the water. You'll break it right in half the first time you hit one of the stomp boxes on where the foot switch is on there. So just think about that. Yeah. But I get it. And do you really honestly think we won't do a video where we put the two up against each other? We will. I will. However, do keep in mind when you buy a $150 product versus a $300 product, there's going to be some differences. And it's honestly not a very fair comparison. Okay, the MG-300 is more likely to be compared with something like the Digitech Element. That would actually be a much more fair comparison. But this isn't. So I just did it because people have been asking for that, and I tried to help them. And there were a lot of people that did appreciate the video. Obviously, you're not one of them. But best of luck to you. Okay. And lastly, okay, this one pains me a little bit, but I have to address this one really quick. And thanks for sticking it out with me, guys. I know, talking about this is about as much fun as watching a tax audit, but still, we got to talk about these things. Aunt Jennifer, the reason this one pains me is because Aunt Jennifer has actually been a really good follower of the channel. So I got my HeadRush big board, pedal board, brand new at Sam Ash for $720 after tax and everything. And I didn't even put the entire comment down. I just went ahead and took that comment down. Because here's the thing, Jennifer, no offense, but if you got it for that price, really happy you did. But basically that you're like giving me the finger for all of my hard work on the videos that I do here at The Pedal Guy. Because I'm a dealer, Sam Ash is a competitor. If Sam Ash wants to lose money selling HeadRush pedal boards at $720, good job. Is all I can say. I know what they pay for these things because we all pay the same price. And I can tell you they lost money doing that. And I know that COVID has made it very difficult for dealers, especially brick and mortar dealers, to make money during this time. I feel for them. I truly do. And they're going to pull sleazy deals like this all the time, but that's because it's about self-preservation more than anything. Keeping their lights on and the doors open, getting the inventory that's sitting around, getting it out because nobody's coming in to buy stuff right now. And I get that, but a little more empathy and a little more understanding and a little more perspective before you post would really get you a lot further on my channel than coming up and talking about how you bought it somewhere else. One of the other guys that's on this stream right now, actually, he and I also talked about the same thing, and he totally got it because he's a cool guy, and you know who I'm talking about. Thank you for that, and he even threw up a super chat last week. So it was a real cool thing for him to do. So Jennifer, point taken, and let's keep those kind of conversations and those kind of comments off my channel, okay? Love you though, so hopefully we'll do that. Let's see, what else is going on? So, guys, are there any other last questions here? Because eventually we're going to have to call it a day here, and move on. But this is a good opportunity to shout out some questions. So, anybody got anything for me, or have I talked your ear off sufficiently enough at this point? Da 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 da. I'm gonna wait a second. I know the stream takes a little longer for it to move along before you actually see what I'm saying. Let's see what there's a couple of comments here. So Mike was mentioning something about Ted Nugent there. They dragged him off the stage while he was still soloing. That sounds like Ted Nugent. Let's see. What else is going on here? Let's see. Appreciate Dave. Appreciate the heads up. Good to be honest about how YouTube fits into your world. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate that. Cool Music Tech. I think your videos are pretty good, to be honest, and thank you so very much. Okay, thank you for addressing Believe and Achieve. Thank you for addressing this topic. You're very welcome. I'm glad that I was able to help you out there a little bit. And one of our viewers from Delhi, doing a great job. Thank you. Geez, there are some pricks out there. Well, no argument here, David. Part of the YouTube ride, I guess. Yep, it is part of the ride. I had another one. I had another comment that was like a mile long, and I just simply won't read it. Actually, in his case, though, he did bring up a very valid point, and it's not because I don't. It's not because I don't appreciate constructive criticism. I can take constructive criticism quite well. I wrote books for a living. Okay, I know what it's like to get constructive criticism, and he had it. His point was I talk too much during some of the videos. However, yet again, I tried it the other way before where I hardly talked at all. If you go back to some of the first videos like 4 years ago, I hardly spoke at all in those videos. I just did a little voiceover work and I played more than anything. And you know what? Those videos just got such little traction. Only a couple of them did really, really well, like the Loop Man, the Jam Man, sorry, the Jam Man from Digitech. That one did really well because nobody else was doing a video about it. So go figure, right? Maybe we'll go back and try it. I don't know. What do you think? Am I talking too much when I do these videos? I try to keep it to 10 minutes under. I very rarely go over 10 minutes these days, but if you think I'm talking too much, let me know. Maybe I'll take a look and change the tune a little bit, right? Let's see. When's the next HeadRush update? I don't have an answer for you on that yet because this one just came out. I can tell you that they do have a few updates planned this year. Personally, I'd like to see a rewrite of the GUI. I don't know if we'll ever get that. I know Charlie from Anthrax really wants that because he mentioned that on our interview a couple of weeks ago. The reality is that it's up to what HeadRush wants to do, but they did such a beautiful update to the looper board. My Lord, I love it. It is such a great update. It's like a whole new board when I look at it. It's so much fun to look at and work with, and I dig that a lot. I'd like to see that on the HeadRush pedal board as well. I don't know if that's in the works, but I'm sure there's like a laundry list like a mile long as far as what people want in it. I know there's other things too. I'd like to be able to sync the looper inside of the pedal board with tempo, external tempo. That would be kind of cool if we could do that. But again, I honestly don't know yet. Okay, let's take a look here. Lenert, it's interesting, yes, but you also inspire possibilities with gear, like the MG-300 and using it with a microphone. Thank you. I'm glad you got something out of that. It just occurred to me one day when I was looking at it going, what about using it for vocals? Why not? Why wouldn't we want to use it with a vocal processor? You know, when you look at vocals, when you look at vocal processors, there's not that many to choose from out there. You know, especially now that we're not Behringer anymore. Especially we're not with Behringer anymore. You know, Behringer's gone, so I don't have TC Electronics in the works anymore. I can't use them. We're not Boss dealers, and I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon. So looking at the Zoom stuff is helping, but the other thing too is just looking at looking at other ways to use the pedals that we have in creative ways. For example, the Tall and Fat from Lounsbury. I did a little demo on Lounsbury last week, and it came out a little muddy, but you got the point, I think. It's a good sounding pedal, but the Tall and Fat, wow, that is a great sounding boost. That's definitely one of my favorite boosts on the marketplace. It's clean as a whistle until you want it to not be clean as a whistle. So you can really boost the crap out of a signal going through that. It works exceptionally well as a mic pre. So you could use the method that I showed you with the MG-300, and you could apply that to the Tall and Fat, and you'd have a beautiful mic pre that would pretty much challenge a lot of the really high-end, very expensive mic pre's on the marketplace. So that's something to consider. And you might think about looking at that pedal. I really should do a demo on that someday because it is one of my favorites. And they have Greg also has the tall, fat, and wide, which is the tall and fat in a stereo fashion. So you can actually use it as a mastering device if you want to. But what Greg has come up with his gain staging is just utterly amazing. It's fantastic. Mike, I appreciate the support thus far. Purchased 2 HR units and answered questions I had. Well, that's why I'm here, Mike. And thank you very much for the vote of confidence and support. I do appreciate it. And of course, Cool Music Tech was only kidding. Happy with the new update. I'm happy with the new update too. And I did go over that in the video this week, and it is blowing up like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's crazy. You know, when I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is I look at some of these videos and I see what's going on, and I'm just looking at it right now. Let's see. So the video I did on the firmware is now up to nearly 4,000 views, and it's the first ranked. If you look up HeadRush new firmware on YouTube, I will be the first video in the link in the list. That's pretty cool. And yesterday's video, the MG-300 versus the MG-30, is now up at over 1,500 views. So I'm very proud of that. Let's see. My mic pre is a Digitech VL3D. Oh, okay. That's awesome, man. Cool. I haven't actually tried that one. But y'all know how I feel about Digitech, and if I didn't like them, I wouldn't be using them. So there's that. Have you done a wireless comparison? That's a good question. Compared to what? Wireless, like anything specifically there, Mike, or what are you thinking? Let me know. I do have the wireless, the NUX wireless stuff, which is pretty fantastic. The B5RC is really great. The B5RC is that's a wireless system from NUX that works with both passive and active pickups, and that's pretty nice. It's $150. It's pretty hard to pass that up. And they have the B2 as well. Now, here's where it gets really fun, kids, is when you look at like Ortega Guitars also has a wireless system. And if you look at it, it looks suspiciously like the NUX product. And that's something to be, something to know that, a lot of that stuff is just built, it's just bought off the shelf in China. So many times it can be it's the same exact thing. So I didn't bring it in because it's the same bloody product. Now there are other wireless systems out there. I know that Fishman makes some great stuff. Fishman is one of those vendors that's been very picky about working with a dealer like myself because I'm an online only dealer, and they have gotten a little snotty about that. They won't work with online only dealers that often. There's a few pedal companies that have been like that too, and I'm sure that COVID has really bit them all really hard in the ass over this because, saying no to business, if you have an ethical reason to say no to business, fine. But if you're just doing it because you look down upon online only dealers, then man, you need to get with it because we're all online. And the ones that don't get online, Casino Guitars actually did a great video yesterday about a lot of where these legacy dealers have gone wrong over the years and why they're closing left, right, and center right now. And it's really hard to see that. I don't like seeing my compadres out there in situations where their store is closed because they wouldn't get with the times and they don't have a website or they don't even have an eBay store or a Reverb store. It's never been easier to do that stuff. Is it laborious? Yeah, but the payoff is wonderful. And I have great relationships with eBay and with Reverb, and Amazon can, they can go take a walk off a bridge for all I care. They terminated us a couple of years ago, and I haven't honestly looked back since then. But in any case, let's see. A wireless comparison though, that we should do that at some point. I should look at some of the other wirelesses out there. Maybe I'll buy one from one of these other companies, even if they're not doing business with us, just so I can see if there's actually a good comparison or not, something to talk about or not. But if you are looking for a good wireless solution, Mike, I would encourage you to look at the NUX B5RC. because it works with bass, it works with guitar, it works with passive, and it works with active pickups, and it's rechargeable, and it works like a charm. So it's fantastic. That's great, Scott. I'm not sure what you mean, cool music tech. You're probably talking about the update we just talked about with the HeadRush, but I'm assuming that's what was up there. Anyway, guys, I think it's well, it's 1:20. It's probably time to call it a day here at this point. If you have any ideas for videos or sessions that you'd like to see me do a demo on, you're welcome to send them to info@thepedalguy.com or just comment on this video on either Facebook or YouTube. I will see the comment and I will try my best to accommodate. Or if I already have a video that demos this, I will try to help you out there. So let's reconnect next week. And also, just FYI, as a reminder, the gear you hear, it's the bi-weekly show I do with my friend Amiko. We have Rosaway coming up this Wednesday, and she is fantastic. They're a French duo, flute looping along with beats, along with vocals. Really, really infectious stuff. I think you'll really like that. Really like what they're doing. But in any case, thanks so much, and we will see you soon. Okay, have a good one.